Welcome to another action-packed hour of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Professional wrestling the way you like it and the way it used to be, fans. Hi, I'm Bob Caudle along with Dirty Dutch Mantell, Dr. Dutch Mantell, and we got an exciting hour for all you wrestling fans this week. Don't go away. You're going to love the program we got in store for you this week. We're going to find out who the mystery team of Jim Cornette's was and then exactly what they did to the Rock and Roll Express. Also, our main event, what an explosive one that's going to be. The Heavenly Bodies against the Armstrongs, Dutch. What about that for a main event?
Very good main event, but I got some big news today on Down and Dirty with Dutch. We heard what Tammy Fitz said last week to Robbie Eagle. My special guest this week on Down and Dirty with Dutch will be Tammy Fitz, Robbie Eagle, and Tim Horner. It should be good, so stay tuned.
That's going to be something. All right, what about our Beat the TV Champ match?
You know, I'm getting pretty good at this, Bob, drawing names out of a hat. To meet Brian Lee today for $1,000, I won't get that, and I'll get this one here. Let me see.
Go ahead.
The name is
Paul Lee.
Paul Lee. We'll meet Brian Lee today. The Lee boys for a $1,000 Beat the Champ match today on Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
All right, we're about ready for action now, fans. So right now, let's go to the ring.
Fans, the first match on this hour of Smoky Mountain Wrestling, introducing, weighing in at 235 pounds, from Ashland, Kentucky, Bobby Blaze.
Well, we've been talking about mysteries and Jim Cornette's mystery team, Dutch. This man here still is a little bit of a mystery to me. And, of course, I'm talking about Chris Candido, as Candido makes his way to the ring with that championship belt, the World Championship, he says, of the WWE.
You say he's sort of a mystery to you, Bob?
Yep.
Why would he be a mystery? I think he's wide open.
I don't know anything about
He's
the
wide open with his
WWE.
coming. Let's hear the introduction right now.
Fans, introducing from Asbury Park, New Jersey, at 222.5 pounds, the Suicide Blonde, Chris Candido.
I'm telling you for the last time, Fatso, introduce me properly. The WWE Heavyweight Champion of the world. Suicide, just get at it.
Well, he's pretty sharp with words, I would say.
Yes, sir. His mouth may rival that of Jim Cornette.
A very confident man, but to be a champion in any sport, you've got to be have feelings of competency about your feelings in the ring, or your ability in the ring.
Well, you got to have that confidence. There's no doubt about that. Bobby Blaze, I think, has been gaining confidence in recent weeks. You know, we saw him get his first victory here last week.
His first victory. I remember my first victory.
You do?
Oh, yes, it was really heartwarming to me, because I had been, you know, I probably only lost the first two, and then I've won probably all the rest of them that I've been in. But, you know, I was a fast learner, but I remember how it felt when I won my first match.
Well, you know, Blaze is also a real nice, likable young fella, too. Candido, on the other hand, is just about as obnoxious as anybody can get. He's right on the edge of being just as obnoxious as Jim Cornette to me.
Whoa.
Good move by Blaze. There goes Candido, right through the rope.
Whoa, did he hit that floor hard?
Yes, sirree.
He hit it very hard out there. Chris Candido tearing that floor up here in this Kentucky town.
Boy, that move by Blaze was right on the money, too, as he sends Candido flying. By the way, Dutch, and I got to say this, I talked about that WWA World Championship belt that he's got around his waist.
What about it?
Well, that belt is not recognized in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, for one thing.
Well, what do you want me to do about it? Backflips?
Yeah, take it off of him. How about that? You can do that.
Well, I can do that, of course. But, you know, if he says he's a WWA champion, then I have no reason to doubt him. Why don't you tell him?
A lot of people say a lot of things, Dutch, and I've heard you challenge a lot of people about what they say.
Oh, yeah. Well, good move by Blaze. You see that Blaze? That move by Bobby Blaze. Bobby Blaze almost, I'm saying he is peaking fast here for a newcomer to Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Dutch, he's got good size to go along with that ability of his. And
he's quick.
Yes, he's quick.
He's quick. That's what counts.
Let me tell you one thing, too. Every match, you can see that he's gaining a little bit more confidence. And as that confidence factor begins to build, it really tells in the way he wrestles in the ring. But he's in against a real tough one in Candido. He picked him up, slammed him to the mat, but Bobby Blaze held right onto that arm, rolled right on through it, kept that arm hold.
Good move by Blaze there. He picked him up, and he was off balance, but he hung on to the only thing he had control on is the arm, And when Candido put him down, he just hung on to it. Candido had no choice but to go over.
I got something you're going to be interested in seeing. Just wait till you see the tape of Cornette's mystery team later in this hour. What they did to the rock and roll Dutch. It's going to be a chore to stop Cornette with his team and the Heavenly Bodies and Killer Kyle. You know, I don't know. You might even appreciate this. You're the type of individual, I think, that might appreciate what happened.
Did rock and roll get beat up?
They got beat up, I think. Pretty bad.
Okay. Then I'll probably enjoy it. I'll probably enjoy it. Well, because, you know, I like to see guys beat up. I make my living beating people up. Right now we see Chris Candido, the WWA World's Heavyweight Champion, taking it right to Bobby Blaze here.
There's that suplex, slams him hard to the mat, does. Candido got him covered now, got the leg hook. Only a count of one. Very quickly, Blaze kicked out of that one. But Candido quickly back on his feet, as is Blaze. He's going to whip him with the Irish whip into the ropes. But Blaze ducked under that blow. Comes back with a whip of his own and a big collision, and they both go down.
Well, both of them collided right there in the middle of the ring. Blaze down, Candido down. And a punch by Candido. There's 1-2 and in the ring. Taking him in, shoot him in for the ride. Takes him over. Candido hits hard.
That was a good high back toss from Bobby Blaze, but Candido, he proved to be very smart in that ring as he comes up fighting. Behind him goes Blaze. Good maneuvers. He just slipped right behind him. He may have him pinned here.
Wait a minute.
He was going to bridge him, and he rolled right on through it. And wait a minute, Candido had the tights.
Fans, here is your winner of the match, the Suicide Blonde, Chris Candido.
Well, it looked like just maybe a little handful of tights there by Chris Candido on Bobby Blaze. But regardless of that fact, Chris Candido comes out the victor. There we see Bobby Blaze on the instant replay rolling up Chris Candido, but we see a little bit of trunk pulling there and a little bit more than what we should see. But anyway, Chris Candido victorious right here on Smoky Mountain. Bob Caudle's talking to Chris Candido right now.
Said it was bad camera work. Hey, by the way, still you say the world WWA.
Still world champion. Still heavyweight champion of the world, Bob Caudle. I don't know what that camera showed. It's bad, cheap camera work here in the South. I didn't cheat. I'm the world champion.
All right, and I tell you about the competition here at Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Awfully tough. You got some big, rough, tough customers that you're going to be facing in coming weeks and in coming nights. You got to be ready every single night you get into the ring in Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Bob Caudle, I'm ready. There's no doubt about it, I'm ready. Smoky Mountain Wrestling, you better be ready for the world champion, because I'm here taking on all comers. I don't appreciate the fact that you said I cheated, Bob Caudle. I don't appreciate that. That's bad camera work. I don't cheat. I don't cheat. I'm the world champion. I'm from New Jersey, for Christ's sake. I don't cheat.
I tell you, I think we can get another look at that. You
What?
look at it,
No.
too. All right, watch it. Watch it.
What are you
right
talking
there.
about?
There it is. The whole world is
That's-
looking. Everybody sees that you cheated.
It's not my fault if he wears tights that don't fit. I didn't cheat, Bob Caudle. I
All
don't
right.
cheat.
Fans, we'll be back right after this.
If you'd like to raise money for your school, club, or civic organization, and you'd like to see the excitement of Smoky Mountain Wrestling live in your hometown, this message is for you. High school and college athletic departments, sports teams, police and fire departments, JCs, civic groups, or any group wishing to raise money can bring the stars of Smoky Mountain Wrestling to town for a night of action and receive a portion of the receipts. Write to us or call Sandy Scott at 703-989-6819. Smoky Mountain Wrestling and your civic group, an unbeatable tag team.
Fans, let's go back now to last week and watch the controversial ending to the Beat the Champ match. That was with defending champion Brian Lee against the Dirty White Boy. And I tell you, it was a wild finish. Let's watch it right here, fans.
Robbery.
Scoops him up.
Power slam.
Boy, drives him right hard to the mat, does Brian Lee. Look at that standing drop kick. Over the rope goes the Dirty White Boy. Drop kicked him right over the top rope.
White Boy reeling from that drop kick outside the ring now. Ron Wright, as you mentioned, has moved way back from the ring area.
Here comes the White Boy.
Over the top. 1, 2. He did it. New champion.
Yes, sir, he did it.
New champion.
Here is your winner of the match and new Beat the Champ TV title holder, the Dirty White Boy.
Wait a minute. Here comes Tracy Smothers in. He did. You know, he had his feet across the ropes, Dutch, but the referee didn't see that, of course.
Now, what is...
Counted him out, 1, 2, 3. And here's Smothers in now to talk and complain to the referee about it. 1, 2, 3. He's going to say wrestle.
He said,
holy cow.
continue the match. Is that what he said?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Wait a minute.
And Brian Lee's going to roll him up in a small package.
Oh, man.
He's going to pin it. All right, fans, here's the dirty white boy and the legendary Mr. Ron Wright.
This is wonderful.
I tell you,
I'm jumping for joy.
all week long, I've been hearing how you two say you were cheated out of $1,000.
I've got two men that's done agreed. They're going to collect that bounty right here on TV today, Mr. Cottle. I ain't never been so happy. I've had to take a triple dose of my heart medicine just to keep my heart from beating completely out of my chest.
In other words, Brian Lee's going to lose his head today, right?
Let me tell you something. There's going to be a whole lot of stuff going on here today, brother, that you just don't understand or you see it coming up. The bounty will be collected here today. I've got two people in the background that's going to come out and collect it. And it's untelling who's liable to lose their head today.
All right, Ron Wright's got his $20,000 ready, right?
$20,000, the best money's ever been spent in our entire life. Today, you're going to see it today. Tracy Smothers gets eliminated. No more. And that means I just waltz around with that big, pretty belt around my waist.
Tell them people to keep the cameras on, and they may see me walk on water before we get out of here today.
Oh, boy, two happy guys right here now, Mr. Ron Wright and the dirty white boy. Let's go to the ring for our Beat the TV Champ match.
Fans, this match is for the Beat the Champ TV title, introducing the challenger from Chattanooga, Tennessee at 220 pounds, the Nature Boy, Paul Lee.
Man, there's the man, Bob, I drew his name out of the hat, Nature Boy, Paul Lee, and he should thank me because I'm giving him a chance to make $1,000. All he's got to do is beat Brian Lee. It's a battle of the Lees today. Robert E. Lee would be proud of this match right here. The battle of the Lees right here.
Dutch, you didn't tell Paul Lee that he owed you some of that, did you? If he won it.
Well, I may have mentioned it to him just a little bit. Fans, if you tuned in, let's hear the announcement right now.
Fans, here is your current Smoky Mountain Wrestling Beat the Champ TV champion from Orlando, Florida, 280 pounds, primetime Brian Lee.
Well, there he is, the Beat the Champ champion right there, primetime Brian Lee, delivered ever so eloquently by our Smoky Mountain Wrestling ring announcer, Brian Matthews, the afternoon drive personality at K96 FM in Morristown, Tennessee. They play adult contemporary music. That's that hippie, FM hippie type music. Oh, yeah. And I hate that music anyway. I'd probably hate that station. But
this is our Beat the Champ match. $1,000. That's on the line.
Now, fans, don't go away. On Down and Dirty with Dutch today, I have Tammy Fitz, Tim Horner, and Robbie Eagle with some important news that's coming up shortly. But the main event today, the Heavenly Bodies versus the Armstrongs, and they don't have to spend one dime to see it. See it free right here on public television.
I think Brian Lee's blows are having a lot more effect on Paul Lee than Paul Lee's did on Brian. As you see Paul Lee just stumbling out of the corner, falling face flat right down in the middle of the mat. Here's Brian Lee going to whip him to the corner, but Paul Lee very wisely got out of there just in the nick of time. And what the heck's he going to do now?
Well, I'm going to tell you, Brian Lee escaped from this by the skin of his teeth last week. And he ought to thank Tracy.
That was a bad move.
He ought to thank Tracy Smothers last week for being a watchdog for him. I mean, if I'd have to win a match like somebody coming in and stooging something off, I don't think I'd accept the victory.
You wouldn't take that $1,000, would you, Doug?
Well, I might change my mind if it's $1,000 involved, but I'd feel bad about it.
Hey, next week we're going to have news on who the Smoky Mountain heavyweight champion is. That match is taking place this very weekend in Knoxville, fans, and we'll know the result by next week.
Wait a minute, he may put him in his move. The cancellation, if he can drop him into it, it's all over. He's got him there. He's got him halfway done. Drops him into it. And referee Mark Curtis slides in.
Fans, here is your winner of the match and still Beat the Champ TV champion, primetime Brian Lee.
Well, it didn't take Brian Lee long to finish off, I guess, his namesake, Paul Lee. Let's take a look at it one more time. We'll see his trademark move right here. I refer to it as his signature move, the cancellation, and he drops him right in the small of his back, and believe me, folks, that is very painful, but he drops him right in. And we see referee right there, Mark Curtis, knowing in his heart and in his head that Brian Lee is going to pin this man right here, and he does. Let's go right now to Bob Cottle, and he's going to be standing by with Jim Cornette and the Heavenly Bodies.
All right, fans, right now, Jim Cornette and the Heavenly Bodies right here. You guys ought to be on cloud 9. The Armstrongs are coming up in just a few minutes.
That's exactly right. Today on television, we're going to finish the Armstrongs off. You know, I sat down, I was watching CNN. They had a real interesting report. It was kind of like a documentary. Went to Egypt. These guys went to Egypt. They had this big expedition. And they took these steam shovels, and they took this search equipment, and they took all these native bearers to carry stuff around, and they dug, and they probed, and they prodded, and they unlocked, finally, an ancient pharaoh's tomb. And inside that tomb was a sarcophagus. And inside that sarcophagus, when they flopped the seal off of it and lifted that lid, do you know what they found? Bob Armstrong's birth certificate. Let me tell you something, Bullet. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. You ain't never coming back. And after today, Daddy's little boys are going to tuck their tail between their legs, and they're going to run right back after their stinking old man who's probably at home drunk on some cheap Thunderbird because he knows he can't handle Jim Cornette. Right, Tom?
You know something, Jim? I'm looking out here at all these females, and I'm looking, and I see the lust in their eyes. Every one of them would love to run their fingers through our hair. Every one of them gets excited, just like the Armstrongs' girlfriends. Every female's desire has become the Heavenly Bodies, and my cousin, the Gigolo, is the man that can not only satisfy, but he can rectify any situation with anybody's girlfriend. You know, Armstrongs, you could get a lot more done if you would keep them girls from calling my cousin and I constantly.
Don't go away.
Hey, the only bad thing is, you know who else is calling him? Bob Armstrong's old lady. She's 104, one of those big corn-fed farm women, and she's calling the Heavenly Bodies, man.
All right, fans, it's going to be wild. We'll be back right after this. Wrestling fans, Smoky Mountain Wrestling returns to Barberville at the Knox Central High School on Saturday, July 3rd with an Independence Weekend Spectacular. We'll give you more details about that big event next week. In Fedge Creek, Kentucky, Fedge Creek High School on Friday, June 25th, 8 p.m. See all the Smoky Mountain stars there. In Williamsburg, Kentucky, at Whitley County Middle School on Thursday, June 17th at 7:30. Hazard, Kentucky, Memorial Gym, Thursday, June 24th, 7:30 p.m. 2 big tag matches on the card, plus a one-night tournament for the King of Kentucky title with Brian Lee, Dirty White Boy, Tracy, Blaze, Candino, Horner, Golden, and Killer Kyle. 9 big matches there in Hazard. In Pikeville, Kentucky, at the Pikeville College Gym this coming Friday night, June 18th at 8 p.m. See the Dirty White Boy against Brian Lee. $20,000 bounty match. Tracy Smothers against Kevin Sullivan. A title match, the Rock and Roll against the Bruise Brothers. And a revenge match, the Heavenly Bodies against the Armstrongs. And here with us right now are the Armstrongs. Steve?
That's right. Jimmy Cornette is heating up. It's getting hot and heavy. The other night in Barberville, Kentucky, we had a dang near riot. Well, that's right. You know what you done? You stirred up a hornet's nest, because when you mess with family, and the Armstrong family's got a lot of faith in family, faith in good God above, and we ain't taking no crap off a freak like you, pal. Run around carrying a tennis racket, juking everybody with it. I'm going to take it and make a popsicle out of you, and I can't wait till the Bullet gets here, and he'll finish it all for good.
That's exactly right. This Friday night in Pikeville, Kentucky, Scott Armstrong, Steve Armstrong, brother, we are coming to Pikeville. And I want you to know one thing, Jimmy Cornette, you're out here reading letters from Scott Armstrong's girlfriend. Well, we got a little letter from your mama, and it went something like, because if you can tell by my T-shirt, this looks just like your mama. I can only imagine. It says, Mama Cornette, you stink. And, brother, truer words have never been spoken, Bob Cottle. And just like my brother Steve said, we are coming to Pikeville before too much longer. You know, you're going to see the Bullet Bob Armstrong. You're going to see Steve Armstrong. You're going to see Scott Armstrong. The family going to get together one more time, buddy.
You know, fans, Jim Cornette has been crowing about his mystery team coming to handle the Rock and Roll Express. He's been talking about that for some time now. Well, they finally appeared in Paintsville, Kentucky last week. And did they make an impressive debut? You better believe it. Let's watch this tape of just what happened in that match.
At any place for any period of time without running that mouth. So if he's got something to say, he'll probably be saying something in just a minute. He's down there by himself right now.
Well, of course, there's been a lot of curiosity about this team and a lot of speculation as to who they might be, Dutch. But Cornette, you know, he always has a horseshoe around somewhere, looking for something, some surprise and something special. Let's see what he has to say. Hey, Dutch, look, coming there. Hey, that looks like the Bruise Brothers.
Well, Cornette was telling him he was going to give him a chance to leave before his mystery team showed up. So, who are those guys?
Well, it looks like the Bruise Brothers. Where the heck did they come from, Dutch? It looked like they came out of the crowd.
I think they were sitting up there. I think I saw them moving down toward the ring, and now they're really having their way with the Rock and Roll Express. Of course, Cornette
and the referee goes down, Dutch.
Of course, Cornette said he was bringing the mystery team in to expressly go after the Rock and Roll.
That is Ron and Don. That is the Bruise Brothers. Dutch, they've been in WCW. They've been in WWF. They've been worldwide. They're tremendous, big, huge athletes, about 6'8" tall, 620 pounds combined. Big, huge, tremendous, strong individuals, and they're here to do the job for Jim Cornette.
Now, identical twins. Now, we don't
And
know.
he's got a chair in the ring now.
I don't even know which one that is. I think either Ron or Don, of course, but you can't tell them apart. They got a chair now.
They got Rick. Watch out.
There's Cornette with a tennis racket on Robert Gibson, and we've said time and again, see this feud between Cornette and the Rock and Roll started many, many years ago when he in the old Mid-South area, Oklahoma, Texas, and hit a spread all across the country, then to the Mid-Atlantic, and now we see the Bruise Brother with another chair. There's Cornette. He is really trying to make up for lost time here. Cornette, of course, still upset over the loss of Stan Lane at the hands of the Rock and Roll Express, and really bringing this mystery team in, and he was a smart man, not telling anybody who they were before they got here.
Well, with that chair, they've already cut Rick. It's one of the most vicious beatings I think you'll ever see the Rock and Roll Express take. They haven't been able to land a blow. It's been all the Bruise Brothers since they came in and attacked the Rock and Roll.
Well, the Rock and Roll Express, no offensive moves whatsoever, but it's hard to make an offense against guys 600 pounds, 6'8". It's really hard to get any kind of momentum going. And the way I see it right now, I think the Rock and Roll will be lucky they get out of this beating with their lives.
That's right, just getting out of there all in one piece. That's what the Rock and Roll needs to do right at the moment. Jim Cornette outside of the ring, he manages to get a lick or two in, and here's Robert Gibson just managing to pull up. But look, one of the Bruise Brothers, high, off of the rope, right down on him, Dutch.
Well, what Robert Gibson saw, he saw him coming off on Rick to try to save his own partner, but as a result, he suffered the consequences of it.
They continue to just annihilate him. They got them both down over in the corner, kicking, stomping, slugging at him.
Wait a minute, we got a visitor.
Who's this coming into the ring?
Here comes White Lightning and Tim Horner trying to help his little bosom buddies out the Rock and Roll Express.
He just made it to the apron.
And made it no farther. Met with a big knee, trying to get back into the ring. At least he's persistent. And one of the Bruise Brothers knocks him flat on his can again. Now Ricky Morton goes down. Robert Gibson is begging, trying to get out of the ring.
And again, here's that chair. Cornette held a chair right up there, and it was Gibson that was slammed right into the back of that chair.
Oh, this is a tremendous, brutal beating the Bruise Brothers are handing out to the Rock and Roll Express.
There's no wrestling.
Look at Cornette.
Like a street brawl up there.
No, it's a slaughter. This is no street brawl. Street brawls, guys fight back. The Rock and Roll's having a problem. We got another visitor. Who is that? Looks like one of the Armstrongs. The Armstrongs are at the ring. They're trying to get in. The Bruise Brothers holding them off with a chair. If they get in there and that chair whacks them, they'll be laid out too. This is nothing more than highway carnage right now.
Corner outside. The Armstrongs are outside trying to get in. That chair is keeping them all off of the apron. No way they can even make it into the ring.
Well, finally, here's some reinforcements gone. What a
looks
brutal...
like the Armstrongs made it in.
What a brutal, brutal beating suffered by the Rock and Roll at the hands of Jim Cornette and the mystery team, the Bruise Brothers.
But you got to say it's one of the most vicious beatings ever handed to the Rock and Roll Express.
God, man, so many stitches, bro. So, man, first of all, I'd like to say I'm glad one of the fans had a camera right here for I'm doing an interview right after this match right here. But you know, Man, we have been world champions, Robert, 4 different times, brother, and we have wrestled so many tag teams, but I've never seen a tag team like this in my life since the Road Warriors hit back in the 80s. But let me tell you one thing, Cornette. You might have slicked this once, shame on you, but if you slick this again, it's shame on you, buddy, because all you want to do is be after these belts right here. But let me tell you something. Your mystery team might be big and bad, and you might get our backs against the wall, but next time, brother, we're coming out fighting. We don't care what it takes anymore, Cornette, because now we know what you're made out of. Look at my head, Cornette. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. So bring your mystery team on back to the matches, because I told you many times before that rock and roll is here to stay. We're not here to play.
Smoky Mountain Wrestling is now offering official merchandise by mail. You can have the excitement of Smoky Mountain super shows like the Volunteer Slam and Fire on the Mountain on videotape. All the weekly SMW TV shows are available on home video, custom made to your order. Be fashionable with SMW t-shirts and baseball caps. Get an autographed photo of your favorite star. For a complete list of items, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Smoky Mountain Wrestling, P.O. Box 1279, Morristown, Tennessee, 37816. Send for your brochure today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Down and Dirty with Dutch. I'm Dutch Mantell, and you're not. Now, a special edition of Down and Dirty with Dutch. You see standing right here with me, Tammy Fitch, Robbie Eagle, and Tim Horner. Now, let me set this up here. Last week, Tammy Fitch came out here, Smoky Mountain Television, and she told Robbie Eagle right here, she said, Robbie, if you get me in contact with some wrestlers who want to talk serious contract, then I'll go out with you. Did you say that, Miss Fitch?
That's right, I said that.
Okay, she said that, and Robbie Eagle, I see you're here, and standing right here, White Lightning Tim Horner, and he looks like he may have serious contract negotiations on his mind. Now, Robbie Eagle, I'm going to tell you, could be a big day in your life if he wants to talk serious contract.
Yeah. Hey, Tim, you got to do this for me, please. I mean, look at her. It's the chance of a lifetime. Please do this for me, baby. Please.
Well, Mr. Horner, what do you have to say?
Well, I did come out here to talk serious, but I want to talk to you, Robbie. Come on, man. You don't need a date with this girl. My dad told me a long time ago growing up, if you lay down with the dogs, you're going to wake up with fleas. You're about to get bit, pal.
Wait a minute. I can't. Tim Horner is leaving the ring. Robbie, what happened here? I thought you were going to bring a wrestler out here to talk. Well, obviously the deal is falling through. But now, wait just a minute. I must ask you, Miss Fitch, are you going to honor your commitment and go out with Robbie Eagle? He did bring a wrestler into this ring. Are you still going to go out with him?
Are you kidding? I'd rather go out with one of these filthy, dirty Kentucky people.
You're not going to go out with him?
No, and Robbie, you call me when you're somebody.
Whoa. Hey, don't look at me. I ain't going out with you either. Okay, fans, that's it. Don't go away. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
If you'd like to raise money for your school, club, or civic organization, and you'd like to see the excitement of Smoky Mountain Wrestling live in your hometown, this message is for you. High school and college athletic departments, sports teams, police and fire departments, JCs, civic groups, or any group wishing to raise money can bring the stars of Smoky Mountain Wrestling to town for a night of action and receive a portion of the receipt. Write to us or call Sandy Scott at 703-989-6819. Smoky Mountain Wrestling and your civic group, an unbeatable tag team.
All right, fans, with me right now, the wild-eyed Southern boy, Tracy Smothers. I see he's still all in one piece. Nobody's collected that bounty yet, but I got to tell you, Ron Wright and the Dirty White Boy are awfully happy. They say they're going to pay it. Somebody's going to collect it today.
$20,000 bounty.
$20,000 bounty. That's
Man,
right.
I'll tell you what, that's a lot of money.
You know,
I've been in this sport a while now, and I've been through a lot of things, but never, ever have I ever had anybody put a $20,000 bounty on me. I saw what happened to Brian Lee when they had just a $10,000 bounty, so I could just imagine. But you know something? There are top stars calling all over the world to come into Smoky Mountain Wrestling to collect that bounty. It's like a virtual who's who in professional wrestling. Right. Man, they're all wanting a shot at it. I walked out of this to come on this interview here, and I was awful paranoid looking over my shoulder, and I look around. Man, I walk out of my house, and I'm nervous as heck.
Wait a minute.
Mothers down there, sir. I've got these men up here in the ring, and they're going to collect that bounty for me. Now let's see where your guts is at and how big a yellow belly streak you got down your back, and be man enough to come on down here and get in the ring. The bounty is being collected now, brother.
So evidently you're going to go.
I'm fixing to get something straight right here, right now, Mr. Cottle.
All right, fans, there goes Tracy Smothers. He's heading to the ring. Dutch, anything can happen here.
Well, Ron Wright says that he put the $20,000 bounty out, and now he's called him down to the ring. Now, I don't think... wait a minute.
I don't have anything personal against you two boys at all, man. I know $20,000 is a lot of money, but money makes you do a lot of crazy things. Why don't we just forget about this whole thing, man? Because, I mean, money's the root of all evil, guys. All right? Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you this, and I feel this in my heart. Hey, look at me, boys. I think you're overmatched. The best thing to do is to go back to the dressing room, okay?
Well, we see Ron Wright has brought
him, and that was a bad mistake on the part of Tracy Smothers.
He's
attacked from behind.
Well, he's brought Paul Lee and Mike Sampson in the ring. They're double teaming. Uh-oh, it backfired on him. There's a shot by Smothers. Now he hits Sampson.
Goes down. He hits Sampson back into the corner. He's got them both. He's going to slam them together.
Double head jam right together. Now, the $20,000 is out. Two men on one. There's a flying elbow and the drop kick.
I tell you, the $20,000 may have colored these guys' eyes a little bit too much. I don't know that these two are capable of handling Tracy Smothers.
Well, I'm going to see Tracy Smothers has nothing to win with this.
Lee into the corner. Wait a minute, from behind, there's the Dirty White Boy.
He's got a visitor. Dirty White Boy putting him on his head. Obviously thinking back to last week when he was...
Wait a minute. Heck, he's got a plastic bag that he took out of his tie. He's putting it over the head. He's trying to choke him. He's trying to smother him. Let me tell you, hey, all you youngsters at home, don't ever do anything. This is very dangerous.
This is very dangerous.
Don't do anything like this.
It only takes...
Extremely dangerous.
Look at that. See, he's trying to breathe, but there's no oxygen in there. It's all gone right now. And it won't take long before he's out. Somebody's got to come. Somebody's got to come to the rescue. This guy can go right out. He can kill him like this. He could die, Doug. Wait a minute. We get some help. Here comes the rock and roll.
Here comes Horner. Here comes the rock and roll. They get that bag off, and Smothers is gasping for breath in the ring. And they got there just in the nick of time. Fans, we'll be back right after this.
Smoky Mountain Wrestling is now offering official merchandise by mail. You can have the excitement of Smoky Mountain super shows like the Volunteer Slam and Fire on the Mountain on videotape. All the weekly SMW TV shows are available on home video, custom made to your order. Be fashionable with SMW t-shirts and baseball caps. Get an autographed photo of your favorite star. For a complete list of items, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Smoky Mountain Wrestling, P.O. Box 1279, Morristown, Tennessee, 37816. Send for your brochure today.
Fans, before we go to the ring for our big main event, let's hear these words from none other than Bullet Bob Armstrong himself. Let's watch this.
You know, Cornette, this funny-looking contraption over me is called a pull-up ball. I don't guess you know anything about that. But every day now, I've done a couple more pull-ups. It's getting a little easier. Like I said, I'm stretching further past the pain. The ribs still stretch, and they still hurt. But ain't nothing worth something if it don't hurt a little bit. But I hurt a lot. And now I've heard a lot about what's happening up there. You running around with all your antics outside the ring. Well, I've heard enough. The general is on his way. Armstrong's Army General is coming, brother, and I took my lessons from Patton himself. You're going to think this lion on my shirt is right because I'm going to be the lion of Smoky Mountain, and you are going to be Bambi, and I am going to chew you up and spit you out in pieces.
Fans, Jim Cornette has demanded that I make the following announcement. All females in the arena are forbidden to touch, grope, fondle, or molest the heavenly bodies on their way to the ring. Violators will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Jimmy Del Rey, they are the Heavenly Bodies.
The Heavenly Bodies are accompanied to the ring tonight by their manager, Mr. Jim Cornette.
Well, Bob, this is the match we talked about. A lot of bad blood between the Armstrongs and the Heavenly Bodies with Jim Cornette. And like we said, a family affair. We got brothers on one side, we got cousins on the other, and it all stems from the father, Bob Armstrong, who has resigned as commissioner of Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and this is almost the end result of it. A major battle is going to ensue here in short order. There we see the Armstrongs making their way to the ring. Steve and Scott, and they're trying to avenge their father's injury at the hands of the Heavenly Body. Let's go to the ring right now for the announcements.
Fans introducing at a total weight of 445 pounds from Marietta, Georgia, Scott and Steve, the Armstrong brothers.
All right, fans, the Heavenly Bodies and the Armstrongs, they go at it. And Dutch, as you say, the Armstrong boys, I mean, they're fighting for revenge. These guys have been aching, and the desire that they have to pay back the Heavenly Bodies for what they did to their dad is just beyond words of expression. They're a closely knit family, Dutch.
Yeah.
And when you're that close and as close to each other as they are to their dad, boy, I tell you, I'd hate to be the Heavenly Bodies in that ring right now.
Well, first of all, let me say, Cornette, while I've said a lot of things about a lot of people, I think Cornette may, I'm going to say this in all honesty, I think he may have went over the edge in talking about Scott Armstrong's girlfriend, Bob Armstrong's wife. And when you talk about family, sometimes you have to suffer the consequences of those words. Words mean things. And when words don't set right with certain people, then a payback is due.
Well, that's right. And I tell you, we've seen, bad blood between teams and between wrestlers for a number of years, Dutch. But I tell you, the hatred as deep as this between these guys, I don't know as we've seen anything like this. And Bullet Bob Armstrong says that he will be back from his injuries, that only he can make the situation more explosive, and he will. If he says be back, I'm sure he will. By the way, we're hoping to have some word before we go off of the air on some kind of disciplinary action against a Dirty White Boy for his actions and what he attempted to do to Tracy Smothers, trying to collect that $20,000. Ron Wright is going to cause Tracy nothing but trouble, Dutch. We're sure of that, but I think the Dirty White Boy went a whole lot too far in there.
Well, we see the Armstrongs controlling the action right now, double drop kicking the Dr. Tom Pritchard out of the ring. Jimmy Del Rey, the gigolo Jimmy Del Rey, laying on the floor. And both men are now outside with Cornette. They need to regroup and go back in there. Now, while I enjoy a great match, and I don't care if people cheat because I've cheated all my life, but still sometimes you need to...
That's the first time I ever heard you admit that.
Well, it was a little subtle cheating. It's more like psychological cheating. But you see, my philosophy has always been, since I am a philosopher, of course, my philosophy has always been the guy has the same opportunity to do to me what I do to him. So I want to do it first.
But I tell you,
but sometimes when you say things like that about people's families, you know, a severe payback is due. Now, I'm watching this match right now, and I've said time and again, the Armstrongs do not need to wrestle on emotion. They need to wrestle under control. So far, they seem to be a controlled team.
Well, and I tell you, but I think they're on another level, Dutch, and I think the emotion may be part of that. And whether they can keep it intact and under control during the entire match is something that we're going to have to see. You got to be smart in that ring. You know, if you lose your head, which is what can happen if you go in just wildly mad at someone, you're going to get in bad trouble.
Well, we're looking right here at Tom Pritchard and Jimmy Del Rey, a team that's just been put together. Now, these Armstrong boys have wrestled together, grew up together, so they're probably a lot closer than Pritchard and Jimmy Del Rey, even though they are cousins. But see, Jimmy Del Rey, Cornette said they've kept him under wraps for 4 years.
All right, this is Del Rey back into the ring after he sort of pulled Pritchard over to the corner to make that tag.
Now
Scott Armstrong in the ring now, waiting on Del Rey.
Now, let me say one thing right now to Bob Armstrong. He is not a young man. And when you get an injury in any sport, when you get an injury, it takes you longer and longer and longer to heal back up.
Injuries as severe as his anyway, Doug.
And one thing I'll say about Bob Armstrong, while I don't agree with a lot of his actions as commissioner, and I'm sort of glad he resigned. I think he was getting to him anyway, but still, when he's going to come back, he's going to take a severe risk with his health. When he's going to step back in the rings with these young bucks here in Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
All right, Del Rey with the arm drag, goes down again. Boy, Scott Armstrong right there with a couple of good arm drags. Took Del Rey right to the mat hard. Still got that arm bar on him.
Did any women grope or feel or fondle Jimmy Del Rey or any of the heavenly bodies on the way to the ring?
Not that I'm aware. Hey, what do you think about the gall of Cornette? Having a ring announcer make that announcement, don't you think that's a little bit over the edge, Dutch, really? I haven't noticed anybody ever try to even touch him. Have you?
Well, I'm not. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy, Pritchard got him from behind.
Pritchard's got, it's Scott Armstrong in the ring right now.
And that's going to give Del Rey the opportunity that he needed with Scott Armstrong on the mat, and he's reaching back, favoring that back. He was injured in the back.
So let me ask you right now, Bob. Bob Armstrong has said he has resigned as Smoky Mountain commissioner, and he's going to step back in Smoky Mountain as an active wrestler. Is that what he's saying?
He's going to make things right himself.
Well, I'm going to tell you what,
he's the one man that can do it.
He's a tough dog, and he may have one good fight left in him. So we'll see when he comes back. I hope he doesn't get hurt worse than he already has, is what I can say.
Here comes Scott off to the double elbow. They whipped him hard to the ropes. He had a full head of power when he came off of those ropes, and he came off heavy.
Well, I can feel this right now. It's starting to mount up. This thing is going to bust in just a minute because I think the emotion is going to overcome the Armstrongs. I think they're fighting for family pride right now. They're fighting for revenge for their dad. And I tell you, when you're fighting for those odds, you know, I don't think they're going to be able to control themselves.
Scott Armstrong ducks right under that big roundhouse right hand.
Sunset.
He's got him pinned. 1, 2. Couldn't hold him there. Only a count of 2. Boy, he almost had him. Again, Pritchard's going to go over and make the tag. Here comes Del Rey.
Tags a gigolo off the top with a knee. Oh, with a knee.
He's got some real high-risk maneuvers and moves that he makes off of the ropes, Dutch.
Now, the Armstrongs have to be careful on this provocation. Steve has been provoked in the corner.
And the referee over there with Steven Scott was just being pile-drived over there.
Absolutely. That's not by accident. That is by design.
All right, Del Rey again out of the ring. He's going to get to the top rope. Watch out. Oh, Scott's in bad shape if he can't get out from under this. All the weight came down with that one.
Did he jam him then? Pulls him up. Did he pull him up?
Boy, they're working Scott over. They're pounding him. And I tell you, they got him exactly where they want him now. And Scott needs to get to the corner bad for a tag, Dutch. He's got to make a tag or he's going to be in terrible shape.
Well, Cornette said they're going to send these Armstrong boys back to their dad with their tail tucked between their legs. So we'll see if Cornette's claim comes true here. Jimmy Del Rey controlling the action over Scott Armstrong. Referee Mark Curtis looking on very closely. But so far it's been a hard-fought match. It just seemed the heavenly bodies have sort of taken more of the match to the Armstrongs than the other way around.
Del Rey up with a hard slam. He's going to go back up onto the ropes again. Another high-risk move on his part as he's on the top rope into the turnbuckle. Here he goes. Look how high into the air he gets again.
Oh, he jammed him again. Twice he's jammed him. Wait a minute.
He may have had a reversal right there, but he couldn't hold him.
I don't know how Scott Armstrong could do that.
I don't either.
I don't know how he had the energy or the presence of mind.
It had to be sheer instinct. Just on instinct alone is the only way that he could possibly have done that.
Tag to the good doctor, Tom Pritchard, in the ring now.
One thing about it, too, they're keeping Scott Armstrong near their corner. They're keeping him away from Steve. He's been unable to get over to make a tag, and he desperately needs a tag right now.
Well, that's a mark of a good team. You see that invisible line from that neutral corner to neutral corner? That's where you want to keep your opponent. You don't want him to cross that line. That's like the 50-yard line in football. Because if he gets across there, he's got a good chance. The probabilities of him making a tag go up greatly.
All right, Pritchard was going to get him up to the air, and he blocked it. And the suplex from Scott to Pritchard. I don't know how, again, he did that, Dutch.
Well, he's fighting on pure instinct now. That's a desperation move. That's all he's got to depend on right now is the sheer desperation.
Del Rey reaching desperately across the rope, trying to get Pritchard to come for a tag.
He moved on that one. He had the presence of mind to get out of the way of the driving elbow from the good doctor. He needs to make a tag to Del Rey. He does.
Here comes Del Rey quickly in now. Did he cut him off? Nope, he missed it.
And a tag to the fresh man, Steve. Del Rey, back to Pritchard, back to Del Rey.
Well, he tried to cut him off, Dutch, and he missed it. He wasn't there in time.
Boy, he is
tagging. Is he cleaning house now? We got all four of them in.
He's hammering him now. Both Pritchard and Del Rey getting hammered. Wait a minute. Steve Armstrong over the top rope.
Scott now and the referee trying to get them apart over in the corner. They got Scott double-teamed in the corner now.
The referee almost getting nailed there.
Well, everything is sort of broken down here, Dutch.
Both men on Scott Armstrong. Steve, a little congratulations there from Pritchard and Del Rey.
Through the legs, he's going to make a tag. Here they come.
Oh, a double cross body block.
Well, it was not a tag, but he came in with that double cross body over that top rope anyway.
And the referee putting Scott out of the ring, looks like. Oh.
Cornette from outside with a tennis racket. Right on the button.
And a win for the Heavenly Bodies right here with an assist to Cornette. Give an assist to Jim Cornette.
Fans, here are your winners of the match. Dr. Tom Pritchard and Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey, the Heavenly Bodies.
Yeah, you can give him a big assist on that one. And we'll be back, fans, right after this. Don't miss the return of Smoky Mountain Wrestling to Barberville, Kentucky at the Knox Central High School on Saturday, July 3rd with an Independence Weekend Spectacular. We'll give you more details about that next week. In Feds Creek, Kentucky, Feds Creek High School on Friday, June 25th at 8 p.m. See all the Smoky Mountain Stars. Williamsburg, Kentucky, Whitley County Middle School on Thursday, June 17th at 7:30. We'll all be right there. In Hazard, Kentucky, Memorial Gym, Thursday, June 24th, 7:30 p.m. 2 big tag matches on that card, plus a one-night tournament for the King of Kentucky title. You'll see Brian Lee, Dirty White Boy, Tracy, Blaze, Candido, Horner, Golden, Killer Kyle. 9 big matches on that card there in Hazard. In Pikeville, Kentucky, at the Pikeville College Gym this coming Friday night, that's June 18th at 8 p.m. The Dirty White Boy against Brian Lee. $20,000 bounty match. Tracy Smothers against Kevin Sullivan. A title match, the Rock and Roll Express against the Bruise Brothers. In a revenge match, the Heavenly Bodies against the Armstrongs. Jim Cornette right here.
Brother, I went out and I got me some big horses to ride now, and let me just say this. It's going to be hazardous and hazard, and it's going to be worse this Friday night in Pikeville. Because, brother, the Rock and Roll Express have got to stare down a double-barreled shotgun called the Bruise Brothers. They're the biggest, baddest, roughest, toughest tag team in the history of professional wrestling. Forget about the Road Warriors. Forget about the Russians. Forget about the Four Horsemen. These men right here are the most dominating force in tag team wrestling, and they're going to take the Rock and Roll Express apart piece by piece and bit by bit. And then Scott and Steve Armstrong, Daddy's little boys, come on down there to Pikeville, because the last time we were in Pikeville, we won a street fight, and this time ain't going to be no different. The Heavenly Bodies, Jimmy Del Rey, Dr. Tom Pritchard, they're going to take Scott and Steve Armstrong out. You talk about the Armstrong family tradition, it's alcoholism and unemployment. And after this Friday night in Pikeville, it's going to be defeat added to that list. Don't miss it, but the Armstrongs should.
All right, fans, with us right now, 2 teams that have really felt the wrath of teams from Jim Cornette. Of course, the Armstrongs and Rock and Roll. Rick?
You see, Bob, we both get our troubles with Jimmy Cornette, the Armstrongs with the Heavenly Bodies, and the Rock and Roll Express with these 2 goons that Jimmy Cornette brought in against us. But you remember one thing, Jimmy Cornette, and you remember it well. You see, when we come marching here in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, it's not going to be too long until the Bullet Barb Armstrong will be leading the pack, baby, and he'll be coming after you, Cornette. All right.
Okay.
That's right. You set him up, Jimmy Cornette. Everybody just saw it took 3 of you, 1 of you with a tennis racket. You yellow-bellied fat son of a piece of crap. Let me tell you something, but it won't be long. Set them all up. Kevin Sullivan, Dr. Tom Pritchard, Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey, or whatever the hell his name is. Set them up, and we're going to knock them down, brother, because it only takes 3 on any given night.
That's exactly right. Pritchard, you gone and got your cousin, brother. Well, I got my brother, I got my father, I got brothers all over the United States, pal. We got brothers right here, but the bottom line is, when it comes down to it, the Armstrongs gonna make the Hatfields and McCoys look like a Chinese checker match, boy.
When the Bullet and his boys get together, all they do is create stormy weather.
Yeah. All right, fans, that'll do it for this week. We'll see you next week. Until then, so long for now.